All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for Assassination Classroom, Season 1, Episode 20.
We are almost done with the season.
Yeah, we're going through it quite quickly here. And now we are ascending the spire.
Indeed.
To slay that resides at the top.
Indeed, and retrieve the antidote to save their friends. Awesome.
But before we deal with that, we have to get past the smog of lies that that lies before them, and then
Grippeth.
Yes, Grippesu.
Yeah, Grip. I love him. He's hilarious. Yeah.
He's hilariouseth.
Yes, he is quite funnieth. And Karma is facing against him, and he's taking him seriously. He's not, it's the confidence without the cockiness,
Right. Karma has lowered his gaze.
Yep.
And shows his confidence and his in some ways his condescension
Indeed.
Towards this foe.
Yes.
He is taking him seriously, but it is something of where, Karma
He's prodding
has
him a
to,
little.
Well, right. Karma has to psychologically attack his opponent before he actually attacks them physically.
Yep.
And thus, this is all part of the assassination.
Right.
The squad being one that it is, just a hive unit of like class, room students and stuff. You end up in situations where if you'd split up, one member, to go and do a thing, it's like, well, why are we dividing so few resources this way? Why don't we just be like, yes, we'll go past you, and then like 5 of the guys just like
garrot him.
Yeah. I guess if anything, the terrifying part is that he might be strong enough to where he could use their numbers against them.
Potentially.
Maybe.
But thankfully, the full force of them will go on to deal with Mr. Gun Ramen.
God, Dio with a gun.
Yep.
With his own little obsessions. Yeah. Thankfully, this time he's sticking to something non-living. So he's not going to killing puppies or something like that.
Yes, he's killing ramen.
Right. What did ramen ever do to him?
I don't know. And it looked delicious. It really did.
Maybe ramen killed his dog or something.
There we go.
Yeah.
There we go. Yeah, dog. There was something in it that the dog was allergic to or something, and he made the mistake of feeding it to it. Yeah. No, but we're making progress here. And even though Karasuma is kind of out for the count, I think these kids can handle it.
I think they've got this, yeah. This is definitely something that is going to be leading up to the Reaper, because they're building up the boss to be this big deal.
Yep.
They foreshadowed the Reaper before. They have now a clear separation between the cronies and then whoever the leader is, in that the 3 of them are kind of like a band. They kind of come
for
in a
hire
package deal. Yeah.
Yeah.
But, without further ado, y'all, let's get into this.
意外とプロって普通なんだね。ガラスとか使いこつなら俺でも割れるよ。っていうか、速攻仲間呼んじゃうあたり、厨房とタイマン張るのも怖いし。
That nice baiting of his pride.
Let's see what you can do with.
Oh, God.
Let's lock on. Let's lock on.
Oh yeah, sensei, target on. Potential takai, mendo kusai, dropout mentality.
Yep, that's where I always tap out. I'm like, no, I can't do it. I can't do it anymore. Sorry.
Oh, karma time.
Ah.
Are we getting good karma or bad karma?
Depends on who it's for, right?
Yeah.
And what was the point with striking with that then?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Okay,
Whoa,
I like this movement. This is great.
This is really good. Right. But then he's over focusing on his hands then, yeah.
Compared to Mach 20 tentacles, this is easy.
He's become a boxer all of a sudden. Young warrior.
As I fight against a child. Although,
Whoa.
let's be real.
What is this music, though?
Oh, nope, trap.
Fake.
Oh.
Fake out. Yep, yep.
I guess he had a toy from Smog.
Well, he also baited him by saying we can have a fair fight. Well,
Damn,
that was a good twist. Just like,
Yeah.
sorry, I have to win.
Right.
I'm not gonna mess around here.
Oh, shoot.
Well, crap.
That's, okay. Wait.
Did he fake it out and have his breath, like, completely held?
I don't know.
二人とも同じこと考えてた。
Oh,
way.
they looted the body. Yes.
Oh my
They already
god!
defeated Smog. Just at that.
ほら、寺坂、早く早くガムテと人数使わないと。この化け物勝てないって。
Yeah, come on, get. Yeah, here we go. Now all the kids just come
Yeah.
dogpile him. Okay, wonderful. Exactly what I
All
kind
right.
of wanted to happen.
Yeah.
Well, way to go, Karma. Hi.
Awesome. I love it.
Hoeth.
全部を警戒してたよ。あんたが素手の戦いをしたかったのは本当だろうけど。
But because of that, there's no way I would want to fight you on that ground.
Sure.
俺でもそっちの立場ならそうして。
Okay.
あんたのプロ意識を信じたんだよ。
Cool.
信じたから警戒してた。
So that whole thing of keeping his eyes down, you know, or his face level. That's what helped him win this fight.
Right, yeah. There are things that will be, you know, outside of your perspective that you won't know about. And
Yep.
yeah.
勝負の場で相手のことを見くびらないようになる。
Awesome.
同じように敵も考えていないか、頑張っていないか、
Hmm.
敵の能力や事情をちゃんと見るように、 敵に対し敬意を持って
This is
警戒できる。
interesting in the ways it can be applied to their ultimate target.
Yeah.
ないというのです。
何言ってんの？楽しいのこれからじゃん。
Is that
Oh!
Wasabi?
Oh no!
わさび&からし。
Ah!
Oh my god.
ねじ込むの。
That's cruel!
That is.
これ入れたら専用クリップで鼻塞いで。
Oh my god.
中に唐辛子の1000倍辛いブートジョロキアぶち込んで、その上から猿グッズはして処置完了。
That is.
おじさん、今こそプロの意地を見せる。
Oh my god!
俺先生、カルム君、特に変わってなくない。
ええ、将来が
I'm a little worried about his future.
持ってきてんだよ。
Oh man. That was horrifying. Why would that be necessary? Oh my god.
女子だけでは危険だ。
おお、だったら。
あ、
Oh,
Nagisa
oh.
blends in with the girls.
Nagisa, yeah, yeah, wow. Okay, yeah. Hey, I mean, there you go, there you
Yeah.
go.
なんてかっこ悪い夏休みだ。
Oh my god.
Watch. He's gonna hit on Nagisa.
Oh,
どうして僕が。
oh.
でも欲しいけど、こういうところは男にチェック厳しいの。
どっから来たの君ら。そっちで俺と飲まねえ。金あるから何でもおごってやんよ。
Look at their faces. They're just like,
リサ、相手しといて。片岡
That's just.
怪しまれないように。
Oh no.
俺らとどうよ、今夜。
oh boy. Yeah, will it ever end?
あのね、言っときますけど、お兄さんたち、かっこいいから遊びたいけど、あいにく今日はパパ同伴なの私たち。うちのパパちょっと怖いから、やめとこ。
Oh! Oh! Oh, shoot!
少人数だけ
Wait.
で有名な新鋭組実演しました
育児主借り物に決まってる
Where'd she get it?
タカさんすごいそれタバコじゃないよねもっと危ない
ああ最近始めてよ
Oh.
そしてこういうの知ってるやつがかっこいいんだぜ
学校の先生が言ってたよ吸ってかっこよくなるかどうかは知らないけど確実に生きづらくはなるだろうって
Nagisa's giving him life advice.
だよ男はもともと
You couldn't understand.
無理にでもカッコつけなきゃいけねえんだよ俺みたくいつも親と比較されてりゃなおさらなお前は
Okay.
いいよな最終的にはかっこいい男を選ぶだけでいいんだよ
Yeah.
先生に借りたんだ
Ah, nice.
ヤクザ弁護士馬主仕事の時使えるから
Ha ha ha!
Wow.
揃ってるの
That's
She's a
great.
gremlin for little, like,
Yeah,
little
yeah.
baubles and things like that.
巨乳なのに惚れざるを得ない巨乳を憎む茅野っちが心を開いたみんなあれ
Ah,
たどり着
we've
い
got
た
her in.
見張りがいるのよ
Okay.
またね
Oh.
もうかっこつけずに引き下がれるか
Oh boy.
Oh, wait, they can use him to be the distraction.
Ah, there we go. Yeah.
お待ってって彼女な大サービスだ俺のお箱のダンスを見せてやるよ
Oh my god.
The OP starts
Wait.
playing! Go away.
But only.
やってんだ
Oh man.
静かに
But it's only like from his perspective
Yeah.
the opening's playing.
Oh. Oh.
いや
Here's the distraction.
Yep.
金は親父がですから殴るのは
すみませんヤクザさん
Mr. Yakuza.
What? Oh my god!
That won't draw attention or anything?
あの人急に倒れたみたいで
Huh.
運び
Wow.
てあげてよ
おい失礼しました
Yeah, sudden collapse.
Yep.
Oh jeez. Is it that common?
辛いよね男子は
渚ちゃん
今度はまたカッコつけてよできればドラッグとダンス以外がいいな
Ah, gotcha. There you go.
結局今回女子が全部やってくれたし
Oh.
僕がこんな格好した意味って
面白いからに決まってんじゃん
Comic
Wow.
relief! Yeah, yeah, basically.
きっと誰かのためになってるって
Yep.
Oh, good. Good. Oh. I mean, it's just marijuana, but I mean,
Yeah,
like,
yeah, right.
I thought it was something like actually a little bit more dangerous, but
あれ脳みそくんがいないなこいつらは頭の中まで筋肉だし
he's even mimicking Karma's voice, kinda.
豚肉どもが
Yep, that worked.
Wow.
Yeah, he's really
Oh,
fast.
tasers?
Oh,
電気試そうと思って買っといたのよ。こんな形でお披露目とは思わなかった
oh my god.
といとって
Yeah, yeah.
Amazing.
And where did you buy them?
最近ちょっと臨時収入があったもんでよ。
Oh,
Oh.
nice.
Oh, that's a
Good
cool
man,
callback.
Terasaka.
Yeah.
好きです寺坂君ですが
What a guy.
胸元を探ってください
What?
膨らみから察するにもっといい武器が手に入るはずですよ
Oh shoot.
この銃は君たちが持ちなさい
Yeah, you guys were the sharpshooters.
烏丸先生はまだ精密な射撃ができるところまで回復している
Oh,
Dang.
man.
All right, it's getting serious.
先生は殺すことは許しません
Okay.
君たちの腕前でそれを使えば傷つけずに倒す方法はいくらでもある
Oh, cool.
Okay.
Cool.
本物の
Use responsibly, kids.
Yeah.
雇った殺し屋も残りはせいぜい一人二人
So now it's gun v gun.
Myrtleize.
Myrtleize?
やっぱりうめえのは銃だけだ
Great place for a shootout. Lots of cover.
Uh-huh. You can hear them breathing. Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That's the freaky thing about going into any kind of encounter like that in general is your heart just ends up racing, and then you breathe to compensate, for it.
Yep.
And you just end up making way more noise than you'd ever expect to, like, be
Oh,
making.
yeah, because tensions are high and everything. And,
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
All right.
So
beat Grippithu.
Yep. Yep.
And that was a really good way to beat him, because I was thinking, like, okay, Karma, he's definitely talented among the class, right? And he was able to survive, an encounter with him.
Yep.
But as far as like actually beating him, how would they do that without weapons and without
it's like-
Karasuma? Well, they swiped something off of Smog. There you go. Boom.
And
paralyzed.
I love that it's also a thing of where, no, why would either side not use underhanded tactics?
Exactly.
It is one of those things that I appreciate about this show, is that when I start to like maybe be like, but it would be more realistic, they just do that thing anyway. They just do it. And then we end up getting exactly what I wanted, which is all the students then dogpiling and defeating him. But then Karma decided to live it up quite a bit more than I would have expected.
Where he got that whole head harness thing, who knows?
Karma has a couple things in his backpack that
That's
we just
true.
shouldn't question.
But hot mustard and wasabi up the nose, and ghost peppers and other chilies in the mouth, then clamping it shut.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's all... See, this is what it was. He was expecting them to potentially defeat Kodo Sensei, so he's like, I want to celebrate.
There you go.
So...
No, see, what it actually is it's in case the paralysis thing wears off, he breaks out of the duct tape, they put all that stuff in there, that way his body will be so messed up, right? His eyes so teary and everything, that even if he does chase them down, he won't be able to properly fight.
Right, exactly. We had also a really good teaching moment from Kodo Sensei with regards to Karma being a loser from the exams. Now, because he lost, and in some ways felt like he was kind of acting below his station, if you will. Like Karma has a pretty high self-esteem, high self-confidence.
He is definitely proud.
He is proud, exactly. So when he was humbled by his other classmates putting in way more effort and thus getting a better result,
scores,
even though they might not be as talented as Karma in specific ways, Karma couldn't rely on that talent alone. So when he came here, he was prepared. He has a bunch of stuff in his pack. He's mentally prepared in that he's like, I'm going to take every opponent as seriously as I can.
Right. Expect the unexpected.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Even if it's a school subject, if you will, that I don't necessarily like, I'm going to treat it as if it's life or death, the most important thing. Thus, when he ends up fighting this guy, he's like, okay, the fists are a problem, but I am basically just going to ignore fighting this guy until he does something that is not with his fists, which he will need to do in order to stop me. Therefore, I win eventually, no matter what. It's basically Karma seeing about how can I change this situation from an unwinnable one in the contest that we're currently in to one where it's unwinnable for him. And he basically did that. Karma basically did that.
Because in a lot of ways, if Grip had kept to just his hands, he
would have won.
He would have won. It might have been a stalemate for a very long time and things like that, but
the other kids would have had to get involved and save Karma, probably.
Right, exactly. He wouldn't have lost, you know, and he probably would have been able to deflect anything that, Karma tried to do.
True.
But because he's like, hey, I want to win this quickly, I'm taking, Karma seriously, I'm going to use something that I'm not as good with, right? As an opportunistic thing. But because of that presents an opening. So if it's foreseen, then Karma also gets a chance to do his thing. Boom, there you go. Fight's won.
And Karma prepped him in some ways to basically be like, I don't know if you're a real pro. You're kind of average.
Yeah, exactly.
So he already baited him into basically being like, you need to show me that you're more than just fists.
Right.
And your grip strength.
Oh.
Is that all you do?
Yeah.
So Karma was egging him on before they even started the physical encounter.
Yep.
Thus, Karma won the second he got under this guy's skin.
Right.
And in some ways, Karma then played to his strengths, acknowledged his weaknesses, and then just prepared accordingly with something that should be a solid enough counter when Karma's weaknesses are potentially exploited.
And you know what I love about this?
Yeah.
Is that it shows how much Grip was not doing what Karma was doing.
Right.
Because, I mean, in some ways he was, but in some ways he wasn't.
Sure.
Because when Karma was fighting him and he had the potted plant, right?
Right.
And then he grabs it and he crushes it. He's like, you'll need a better weapon than this. By saying that,
Yep.
he's assuming that Karma doesn't already know that
Yeah.
and hadn't already taken precautions, right?
Right.
And, oh yeah, it turns out he knew that, and
yeah.
he did have a better weapon.
Right.
And he was just waiting for the time to use it.
In some ways, I feel like this was Karma seeing and like kind of analyzing this guy from the get-go and being like, oh, wait. I've been waiting for this moment. Guys, I got this.
Yeah.
I didn't know who I would be facing, but I think I've got this guy on lock here.
Yeah, he adds an F, after everything. So like that,
He's easy to
right, like
to
that,
get under the skin
That
of.
says a lot about the personality of him, which then from there, okay, weaknesses of the mind, right?
Right, right.
All right,
Yes.
I got it.
I got this.
Yeah.
And the teaching moment, and combined with that, using Karma to be a kind of a focus point for the class as a whole, handled really well.
Yep.
Then we shift over to the lounge encounter here.
Yeah.
Which I really like it because they utilized the group in a really effective way. That means that you have then a lot of skill sets to rely upon, but you also then have the idea of where, as long as they're communicating things properly, you don't have to have anyone take the spotlight and or put themselves specifically in any crazy undue risk. Which Karma kind of did, but he did say like, hey guys, no, I got this. I've got basically a plan for this. So they trusted him, and that's awesome.
And he was focusing on defense, entirely. So
Right.
awesome.
Yeah. Nagisa ends up, and this is something that's really interesting, the fact that Nagisa does have some androgynous qualities with the way that he looks.
Yep.
He then ends up getting basically pushed into the hey, this is going to be all those of the feminine persuasion are going to be doing this mission here.
Yep.
And Nagisa's like, hey, come on, guys, like,
Do I really have to do this?
and no, actually, Nagisa didn't really have to do this. But I think in some ways, them doing this is reminding us, one, that Nagisa is kind of the main character with regards to the class. It's also showing an area in which he might be or might have been a little bit insecure about. And the fact that he does have some feminine qualities. And that's not a bad thing. The part when, at the end, when he's done talking with the douchebag kid and stuff, and he kind of tells him like, yeah,
Hey.
I get it. But there's a lot more in terms of standards below where you perceive you need to be, that if you can just meet those like baseline things, you're gonna do all right.
Yeah.
Like in some ways, Nagisa is calling him out on his bullshit and being like, you don't need to be that cool or anything like that. One, that stuff doesn't necessarily help you be cool at all. But like I know the difficulties of being a guy,
Yeah.
And yet he's like,
Well,
yeah, there's lower standards that you can reach and just do fine. So, yeah.
one of the things, it felt to me almost a little bit like there was a parallel between Nagisa's whole interaction with this dude and the lesson that Karma learned.
Oh, okay.
Because it was something where Nagisa, out on the surface, right, you're like, all right, this kid's, a little bit of a prick, right? And I wasn't expecting there to be any sort of wholesome interactions with this character, right? I figured he was just an obstacle that they'd have to work around,
Yeah.
Maybe try and manipulate to their advantage by, like you were saying, oh, he comes over and then, they're like, oh, this guy's bothering me, Mr. Security, can you,
Right.
make him go away?
Yeah.
And then they use that opportunity to open the door or something, right? But Nagisa ended up basically, remembering that he would have his own struggles, desires, motivations, and things like that.
Right.
Even if they're something that isn't exactly in parallel with theirs.
Yeah.
And then, as a result, was able to actually communicate and reach him where he was at and influence his life for the better.
Totally.
Teach, in a way.
Yeah.
Do that thing that Kodo Sensei has been doing for them.
Right.
And it's like, oh, yeah. There's another nice little reinforcement of why Nagisa is the main character.
Yeah, exactly.
So
I also love it from the perspective of this kid is alone, which I think is rather pointed.
Yep.
And these members of the class, they all come in as a group. And they kind of delegate out duties here and there for individuals to go and take specific things there because they're like, yeah, we're a squad here. We're a group basically.
Yeah.
Him being alone and immediately being like, all right, I'm gonna go and be like my dad and just go and be like, yeah,
I'm cool.
yeah, cool girl, like come on over here or whatever.
I can do this dance and it never fails.
Jeez. Like,
Oh my
what
God.
I love so much about this is that this kid is pathetic in every way. And yet he's not that over the top really, except for the dance part.
Yeah.
And yet the dance part is actually the most kind of sad with regards to the
Right.
pathetic. Because there's pathetic where you're like, dude, really? You're pathetic. And then there's the pathetic where it's like, oh, buddy.
Yeah,
Oh no. That's
Yep.
that's how little friends you have to that they haven't told you that your dance looks stupid.
Right. And the idea that because whenever the OP plays in an anime in the episode, it's
Right.
like, oh yeah, this is some hype shit, right?
Yeah,
like this
exactly.
is some of the best stuff you're gonna see.
Yeah.
The OP was only playing from his perspective.
Right. That was
Like,
so good.
That oh man.
Yeah.
Oh, that hurts.
Doesn't that hurt?
Because
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like, no, this is so cool what I'm doing
Yeah.
here. And they're just like, what is this?
Yeah.
What is this?
Yeah. What I like about also the way Nagisa ended it was said, keep trying to, keep acting cool. Like keep doing this thing, but maybe lose some of those things that aren't
You don't need.
Well,
Yeah.
that aren't you. Because the sad part of the pathetic thing is not that the dance is something that he shouldn't do necessarily. It's just, oh man, that's your choice right now. But, while he's definitely high at this point, and he's not really necessarily thinking straight, his, I would say, boldness, if anything, might still be something that's kind of cool in some ways.
Yeah,
he wasn't a dick with regards to his confidence, if anything. If anything, he just was ignorant. Which I could say is still kind of pathetic in a lot of ways.
Sure, but it's something where
it can be shaped in a good direction.
exactly.
Yeah.
And Nagisa was able to see that and and talk to him and help him out a little bit.
Right.
And that's one of those things where it's the happy accident, little surprise that we didn't need in this episode arc, setup, right?
Right.
Because they're in serious territory,
Yeah.
right? There are people that are trying to kill them,
Yes.
right? They are getting handed real guns, and having that talk of, hey, don't kill anyone, but here's a real gun.
You need to use this.
You'll need to use this, right?
Yeah.
And then here we just have something in the midst of that where someone is kind of lost. Someone kind of needs a little bit of help.
Yep.
Someone is kind of in the E class, if you will,
Right.
ignored by the parents, right? And they recognize that and they help them.
Yeah. The girls' ways of going through all of the barriers that they in their way, the Yakuza pin
Oh, that was great.
just kills me. That is so
That was
good.
wonderful.
Because the way she was like, oh, we're here with our daddies, our
yeah.
daddy's really scary though. And it's just one of those things of like, oh, what's this? Like, who are they gonna recruit in the crowd or something? No, it was just, oh yeah, I got this from Bitch Sensei Yakuza, and they're just
Right.
like, oh my god! Like, I love the idea of where they don't get taken as seriously, the girls, because of just the way they look young and cute and innocent.
Non-threatening.
Exactly.
Terasaka probably would have,
Yeah. But then the one guy that probably was Yakuza, like the guy with the million yen
Yakuza.
jacket, literally looking like a Yakuza goon
Yep.
or middle
Who knows
tier
what
boss
rank,
or something
yeah.
like that. Just got kicked in the chin,
Yep.
knocked out instantly.
And so fast
So
that no
clean.
one noticed.
Nope.
Like, that was probably my favorite part about it, is not that they actually managed to take him out, right?
Right.
Which then is nice.
There's loud music.
Well, yes, there's
Yeah.
loud music, right?
It's kind of dark.
It's kind of dark-ish. So it's like all these things to make it work, and it does it from the comedy angle. It does help reinforce the whole thing of Nagisa being like, "Wait, why did I actually have to
Right, you guys did fine without me.
protect? Yeah, come on, like, but it's just like that. It's so fast. It happens. The guard doesn't even see it, and then it's just
Well, he wasn't even a guard necessarily. He was like a patron, like not a patron,
a bouncer.
like a bouncer or something. But he was in a suit and tie and everything like that. Like I don't think he was armed with a gun or anything.
Right.
Like that.
Yeah,
Like,
he was hotel staff.
He was hotel
not-
staff.
not
Thank you. Yes.
Private security.
Right. Yeah.
But and then just he just fell over. I think he might have had too much to drink or something. And
it's like, did he overdose? Jeez. And it's like,
all right.
geez, yeah. That's,
yeah. And then just no, because who would suspect kids?
yeah.
This is when the whole concept of kids that know how to do things that kids normally shouldn't or couldn't or wouldn't know how to do or
You just
whatever.
wouldn't expect, yeah.
Right, you wouldn't expect. And you can sell that they actually know how to do this stuff.
Right.
Then there are all these wonderful opportunities
Interactions and
where the
stuff,
adults
yeah.
are like, some brat,
Yeah,
because if like Karasuma went up to the two guys outside the door and said that, they'd be like, oh, this is okay. What's his what's going on?
They're like they'd call up and be like, hey, we got
a disturbance, a troublemaker, something like that, right?
But some dumb kid
But if
comes
some
up
dumb
and he's
kid
like,
comes up and says that,
yeah.
like I think that's also the reason why Karma didn't even do it, because it's like no, even Karma might look a bit too serious. Like get someone smaller than Karma to go up and just be like
with a hat.
yeah,
and
yeah,
like,
exactly. And then just run.
Yeah.
Just you're like, damn, this kid's fast. There you go.
God, that was such a perfect way to kind of end the
The
final
conflict of the episode.
the conflict of the episode with just the like, okay,
Yep.
gotcha. We got two guys in there. Karma's like, I know exactly what can piss off guys like that, and it's just. What did he even say? You slabs of pygmy ought to quit pretending to be human.
Yeah,
And he just
and
walks away, and they just have this,
Yep.
what the hell? And
Right.
they just change.
Are there any brains around here? Any brains? Nope. Just a bunch of meatheads. Okay.
God, it's
then-
perfect.
And then Terasaka, and it's like, wait, how did you get those? It's like, I bought them. It's like, wait, you bought them? It's like, yeah, I came into some money recently.
Yeah. Oh.
That's good stuff.
It's a good boy,
Good
Terasaka.
stuff.
Terasaka. You know what Terasaka is? Mm-hmm. He's the German Shepherd that was used by people to be like, you're an aggressive boy. You go and you fight people.
I'm an aggressive boy.
I'm an aggressive boy.
Right.
And then there are people that are just like, no. If anything,
You
like,
don't need to be.
You can
You're
be.
not.
You
Yeah.
can be the one that we rely on when we need your strength, and we need you
And
to
he's
protect
like,
some people.
wait,
that are
what?
like, I can help people.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Okay.
Wait, what is this? What is this feeling when you scratch me behind the ears? What? That?
I'm like, good boy, Terasaka. Good boy. He's a
Good boy.
good boy.
Yeah, right. And then,
It's canon.
yep. Absolutely.
Terasaka's wonderful. I also love just that it's the kinds of things that he thinks about.
Yes.
But it's also the equivalent of in MHA when Kirishima buys the super high-tech binoculars for the infiltration thing, and they're just like, dude, that's like,
That's a lot of money.
yeah, that's like 50,000 yen or something like
Right,
that.
right.
It's just like, I mean, I thought it would help, It's just
Right.
like, dude.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
the fact that this money came specifically
Bad
from-
thing
from-
turned
from
into a
bad
good
guy, yeah.
thing. Yeah. And
Yeah.
but now real guns. And Koro Sensei was very clear. He didn't even say like shoot to wound or something, It was like, I don't want you to scratch them, like, but
Right.
I trust that you are good enough that you'll be able to figure out a way to use these effectively, because even covering fire is super helpful.
Just even the threat of firing a gun is pretty terrifying.
Yeah.
I have heard stories of people where they're in situations where there was life or death basically being threatened there, and the person was like, I'm not gonna shoot this gun to hurt them or anything like that. And it was like, oh my God, like me, and I think it was a wife and a husband, and the husband was carrying, but 4 or 5 people like were just coming out around a street towards them at night, and I'm a little bit loose on the details with his story, but I think he said that just when he went to reach for it, just that act was enough for them to be like, oh, okay, and then they just went away. And it was just one of those things of where he was like, I wouldn't have been able to fire. He's like, there's no way I would have been able to do that, because in that moment he realized that he wasn't ready for that kind of a decision. That's just not something.
Right. No one should have to.
Right. Even though he did that with the thought of like, there are areas where it'll be dangerous. It was a big thing of him where he was like, oh God, I'm a grown ass adult, and I don't know if I could have done that.
Right.
But it was just the okay. And then they were like, oh, okay,
all right,
bye.
universal sign for it. We're done here.
Right. And I think it was just dark or something where they didn't see.
Okay.
But it was it wasn't an exposed like open carry thing or something like that. So yeah.
Probably wouldn't have had a problem in the first place if it was.
Yeah. But okay.
All right.
We are headed into the penultimate episode for the season.
Yep.
We've got still Mr. Gunn, Dio basically with a gun left over. He can tell that they're there in the auditorium theater area.
Something's up.
So at least half the episode probably dealing with him.
Yeah.
I want the way they deal with him to be via conversation.
But he can't talk very well if he's, sucking off his gun.
The reason why specifically is that there will probably be some element of actual threat to the lives of the students and stuff. And then they'll have to basically use their firearms to be able to basically make it so no one ever fires a gun. But then they're then allowed to talk with him. And it becomes a thing of where some of the non-violent solutions that they've learned over the time, being with Koro Sensei can be applied here.
Yeah, if anything,
I think that would be a cool thing just from the, kids kind of learning kind of thing.
Yeah, I would love to see something where maybe they're able to, by having the guns, right, they get him to take them seriously.
Right.
And then it's like, all right, take cover, all this stuff, and then they basically bait him into firing some shots. He ends up running out of ammo, and then while he's reloading, if he only has the revolver with him, if he doesn't have like all his other guns that he had earlier, right? If it's just like that gun on him,
sure. Then
they run up and like use the stun guns or whatever.
Yeah, that might be necessary. I don't know how crazy this guy is though. I think that's the
loaded
point.
gun in his mouth.
No.
Kicks.
No, I think he's supposed to look the most crazy. That's
Okay.
the point. But I feel like they've already been kind of subverting our expectations in little bits and ways with the other encounters.
Oh yeah, like how Grip was a lot more sensible than he might have originally seemed.
Right. And then the one who was actually like really terrifying was Smog in this case, and Smog needed to just get roundhouse kicked.
Right.
Like
That's why Karasumo was the one to deal with him. Yeah.
Exactly. There was like almost no way that maybe the kids would have been able to do that if he just was free to use all his gases and poisons and stuff at will.
Yep.
So, yeah. But, okay. Y'all, thank you so much for watching this episode's reaction and discussion. If you want to see the next episode's reaction and discussion right now, though, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You can get on early access there. You can watch full-length timer reactions there, and all this comes with Discord access, so you can chat with us and the community there about this show, about anime in general, and you can also talk with Jacob about the sci-fi novel that he wrote.
Yep, wrote a sci-fi novel called Battle Lines. You know the deal, Battle Lines. It's a sci-fi novel. It's on Amazon. Links in the description. Go check it out.
Yeah, so if any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all next time.